Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to Morning Coffee with Sandy. I I woke up looking like this morning. Thank you, Pebbles. And I didn't have the heart to take it down and not share it with all of you. And you think you have morning hair. Huh? Huh? I'd like to wake up with this thing. Ta-da! There, I'll just put it behind my ears. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, there we go. New hairstyles every moment. New hair. I don't know where these little hairs came in. I don't know how I did that. Pretty clever, huh? Pretty cool. Yeah. Bam bam. Okay, so good morning. Yay. So yesterday, I can't seem to get it to go anywhere but in my face though. Good morning once again. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's Thursday and it's Frankenstein Day, but it's supposed to be Frankenstein Friday. It's supposed to be on the Friday closest to Halloween, which would be tomorrow. So today is Frankenstein Day, but tomorrow is Frankenstein Friday. The Mel Brooks version is my very favorite. And I think today was actually the birthday or something of the woman who was the bride of Frankenstein, but I didn't even write that down because I didn't think any of us really cared that much. But who knows? Mm. Moving day was yesterday, or at least the beginning of the moving thing for my daughter and my grandson. And I went to LA to help, to like put paper down on the shelves and help put food in the cupboards and the dishes away and, just like get them going a little bit. Well, I have to tell you, it was great. It was really great. I promised my daughter before I got there, those of you who are daughters or mothers, or actually probably even sons, do you mind if I take this down? Could I now that it's like in my face? Totally. Woo! I got a lot of hair. Sorry. Anyway, I promised that I would be on my best behavior as a mom. I would not tell her what to do. I would just follow her directions and do what she needed me to do. And for almost all the time, I managed to do that. Yeah, I did. And I think I did a pretty good job. And I was rewarded with a fabulous lunch and some amazing, amazing banana bread that was made by Samara, who is the daughter of her friend Ritu, who was there helping, and a lovely piece of Polish pottery that I just adore. What else? I just had and hugs and kisses from my grandson, which always makes me happy. My Max was oh, I know what I wanted to tell you about. So I met Pancake. Pancake is a squirrel. Pancake is not a pet squirrel, but Pancake doesn't know that. No, doesn't know that. Good morning, Lauren. So I don't know if you've ever lived in a place where there are a lot of squirrels, and I gotta tell you, this street they live on has these big trees that, like, go over the street. It's just beautiful. Very much a tree-lined street, and the street is filled with blackbirds and squirrels. Lots of squirrels. But there is one particular squirrel. I guess the people in the house in front of theirs feed the squirrels, and they've become very human friendly. Well, Pancake Pancake is gonna be coming in their house. I mean, you can tell. Pancake, when I got there, I was the only one there when I first got there. Pancake came up to me, like, literally, like, this close, and didn't wanna leave. And I said, you're not gonna, like, attack me or anything, are you?" And I'm having this conversation with this adorable fluffy squirrel. But I do remember that some friends of my grandpa's in Southern Illinois. I can't remember the name of the place right now, but I remember those people they had a roller skating rink and they made cigars in the back of the roller skating rink. That's all I remember. But their home had all these pet squirrels and they were like violent and they would bite you and give you rabies and stuff. I don't know. Good morning, Stephen. I don't know a lot about squirrels, but I do know that Pancake is really cute and very, very feisty and just totally makes himself at home. We had to keep shutting the door and telling him to go away because he kept trying to come in the door. That was Pancake. So moving made me like, there were a few times during the day where my daughter went off to get more stuff, or there were a few times during the day when I was alone working and I was thinking about moving. What do you take with you and what do you leave behind? And I don't mean to get really heavy at 6 o'clock in the morning, but isn't life like that in general? Like almost every day? Things happen, things change. What goes with you? What do you leave behind? Not just things, but people and ideas, and just something to ponder early in the morning when you're sipping your coffee and quietly getting ready for the day. Today is a new day. What are you taking with you from yesterday? And what are you leaving behind? Think about that. So I drove to LA. Both directions, there was an incredible amount of traffic. In both directions, there were horrible car accidents. I don't mean just fender benders. I mean the kind when you drove by, nobody got out of that car alive, like that kind. Very sobering. Definitely makes you careful about driving and makes you very glad that we are required to wear seatbelts. Although I don't know, I would have liked to have been out of those accidents. Okay, moving right along. To cheer things up a little bit, did you know it's National Chocolate Day? I can't wait to go see Fritzy today and bring her chocolate. My 98-year-old mother is a chocoholic. I remember she liked chocolate when I was growing up. My father liked strawberry, my mother liked chocolate, and I liked vanilla. So we used to get Neapolitan and everybody was happy. But it's chocolate day. So besides her chocolate covered eclair, I'm gonna have to come up with some chocolate things for her. And Indy likes chocolate too. So tonight is gonna have to be some kind of delicious chocolate dessert. I'll have to go either shopping or baking. Oh, let's see, which do I prefer? Shopping, definitely. I bet some of you are bakers, aren't you? Yeah. Oh, can I go back to the what do you take with you and what do you leave behind? As I was thinking about that this morning and knowing I wanted to chat with you about it, I had this other thought. We talked last week about creating an emergency kit, a disaster kit. How about making a list of what important things you want to try to grab in case of an emergency? I can't tell you how often people say, I meant to grab that and I forgot. And there's nothing wrong with putting things like the dog on the list. But, it might be, where do you have money in the house? Do you have your passwords somewhere? So God forbid, if you know, lose everything, you can still get into everything. I don't know, just make a list. That's all. And not a mental list because you are not going to be thinking at a time like that. An emergency list. That's all. Just make up an emergency list. It is Plush Animal Lovers Day. That'd be me. And Bailey. Bailey has a ton of stuffed animals, but they all have squeakers in them. Mine don't. I do have a number of animals that are very dear to my heart that I would be very bummed if I lost. The other day I saw this little tiny bear. It's only about this big. And it's got little arms that there must be like metal inside because you can open his arms. But it's not like those little cheesy ones that they used to stick on things. It's bigger. And he can hug you. He can hug your arm. And it's a bear that my dad bought me the first time I had a baby. Yes. When my Donnie was born, my daddy said, there'll be plenty of presents for the baby. This one is for my baby. Nice daddy, huh? So there's that. There's Zippy. Zippy the monkey. I bought Zippy the monkey for my little brother when he was a little kid, and Zippy has always been high on my personal list. Then there's Sarge and General. I'm looking around to see who's in here. I put most of my stuffed animals out in the casita. 'Cause I figure people are lonely when they're staying somewhere away from home. Yeah. Uh-oh, messages. You know what that means. I need my glasses. Steven says he could get me a plush one with a squeaker. I think Bailey would take it away from me. Bailey is getting, I hope, is getting a bath and a haircut today. Yeah. Talk about, I think I need a haircut, but not as badly as Bailey. I'm just hoping that he's calmed down enough in life now so that he'll like cooperate. We'll see. I don't know. I'm hoping. Happy birthday to Jonas Salk. Jonas Salk is the guy who came up with the vaccine for polio. Can I just tell you something wonderful about him? He did not patent the drug. No, because he wanted to make sure that the most people it could reach got the vaccine. He wanted to keep it inexpensive and he refused to patent it. He wanted it to be available for everybody and distributed to as many people as possible. And thank God, because we lost hundreds of thousands of people to polio before we had that lovely vaccine. Almost on my birthday. Happy birthday to Bruce slash Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner, who's kind of a nice looking woman, was once Bruce Jenner, who was an Olympic champion. But you knew that, right? You knew Caitlyn Jenner used to be Bruce Jenner? 1976, he was the Olympic decathlon champion, and he was on the Wheaties box with this buff body of his. He was the Wheaties spokesperson for, I guess, during those years. Bill Gates' birthday. Oddly enough, today is the anniversary of Harvard being founded, like in the 1600s. It is also Bill Gates' birthday, and Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard to join a friend of his and start this little company called Microsoft. And the rest is history. Yeah. Julia Roberts' birthday. I just love Julia Roberts. She has the biggest smile in the whole wide world. I think like 5 times or something, Time Magazine has called her the most beautiful woman in the world. Maybe she is. And she has this like, it's all like Northern European, but she's, like varied. I don't know. They say, oh, she's so multi-ethnic. No, she's not. She's like Welsh and English and Swedish. I mean, to me, that's all like white European. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Howdy. Good morning, Jenny. Howdy. That was didn't we celebrate her birthday like yesterday or the day before, Minnie Pearl? Howdy. Yeah. So I thought, okay, I like Julia Roberts and I want to talk about her, but I don't want to tell you the same old things like she's a pretty woman. Did you know, by the way, she got $20 million for playing Erin Brockovich? Yeah. And $25 million for playing Mona Lisa Smile. She got 20 million for Erin Brockovich, right? 25 million for Mona Lisa Smile. I think this woman might be worth some money. But I think if I wrote it down, I don't remember what she got for Pretty Woman, but it wasn't anywhere near that, or Steel Magnolias. Oh, this was the other thing I found out. Most of us know her because of Pretty Woman. I mean, she was in Steel Magnolias before that, and she was very good, but I think she got famous with Pretty Woman. And she was not supposed to play the starring role in that movie. No, Meg Ryan was supposed to be Pretty Woman. Yeah. And she dropped out at the last minute. They put Julia Roberts in. I almost did the BamBam thing again. My goodness. She got the role and she got all the glory that came along with it. Good for her. She didn't even want to be an actress when she was a kid. She wanted to be a veterinarian. I guess she could be anything she wanted now. I don't know. This cracked me up. According to some biblical scholar, today In 404 BC is Adam's birthday. No, the Adam. Adam from the Bible, like in Adam and Eve. Today they figured out, doing all the calculations based on the Bible, that today is Adam's birthday. Happy birthday, Adam. The shortest poem in the world, Fleas. It's called Fleas. And the poem goes like this. Adam had 'em. Okay, look, I didn't tell you everything I didn't promise you that everything I told you was going to be of value. But Adam had 'em, shortest poem ever. There might be another one, but I love Adam had 'em. Fingerprints. Fingerprints. 1980, there was an article on fingerprinting. I'm sorry, 1890. Got that backwards. 1890, there was an article on fingerprinting. In 1880, this guy named Henry False discovered that they could use the uniqueness of fingerprints to discover to solve crimes, to find the bad guys. And in 1788, before that, this guy named John Mayer, not, it's actually Johann Mayer, not the singer John Mayer, but another guy. He's the one who discovered that everybody's fingerprints were unique. But way back in the time of Hammurabi in Babylonia, don't you love Hammurabi? He had a code. Anyway, I love the name Hammurabi. Hammurabi, what's your name? Hammurabi. I just think it's a cool name. Anyway, Hammurabi already knew that people had fingerprints and was already like, checking them out based on that. And that was like way, way before we got into that game. Today is apparently a birthday gun day. Yeah, how weird is this that both Remington and Smith of Smith and Wesson both had their birthdays today. 1886. It was, I show you my favorite picture of my grandson when he was like 2.5 or 3. And he was the Statute of Delivery. There you go. There he is. This is the day that the Statue of Delivery, sorry, the Statue of Liberty was like consecrated, whatever you call it. It was given to us by the French, and it was the day that we got the statue. But they were giving us the statue, but we were required to build the base for it, right? So the city of New York said, okay, it's going to cost us $50,000 to build a base. Let's do it. Grover Cleveland, who was then mayor of New York, but later became president, said, no, he vetoed it. He was not spending $50,000 to build a base for this French statue. So the people of New York went to Congress and asked for $100,000 to build this base for the Statue of Liberty. And Congress said, no way, we're not giving you $100,000 to build a base for this French statue. So at the time, Pulitzer, the Pulitzer Prize. Okay. So at the time, Joseph Pulitzer, who was a publisher in New York, used his pull with his publication, which was called like New York World or something like that. He put out a request and he started this drive to raise money to build a base for the Statue of Liberty. And he asked people to just donate $1. That's all, just $1 towards this. And people responded in droves. They raised $120,000, like in plenty of time, to build a base. And you're tired and you're poor could then come into New York Harbor. I think that's pretty cool. Done. Okay, news story from 1993. This one cracked me up. In Colombia, at the largest university in Colombia, how big that would be, I don't know. But at the largest university in Colombia in 1993, apparently the president of the university was giving a speech to the students who were making a lot of noise and interrupting his speech. So to quiet them down, he mooned them. Yeah, he pulled down his pants. Excuse me? What did you say? Bam! I know, I wanted to say it. I started to say it again. I don't know why I love that so much, but I do. I do love it. Don't you? I mean, come on, seriously. Bam! It's like putting an exclamation point on things. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, 1957. Elvis Presley comes to the Pan Pacific Auditorium in LA. And before his show, the day before, the police, LA police, come to him and tell him he is not allowed to wiggle his hips on stage. Really? And then the next day, when they did the show, the entire, well, what do you call it? The Vice Squad. Yeah, that's what you call it. The entire Vice Squad, not the entire Vice Squad, but the Vice Squad showed up and recorded his entire performance. Now, whether or not he wiggled his hips, the article didn't say, but I just loved the article. Can you imagine in a place like Hollywood, because the Pan Pacific is in Hollywood, can you imagine in a place like Hollywood, even in the late 50s, the police coming to Elvis Presley and saying, and by the way, you are not allowed to wiggle your hips on stage. Really? Women can wiggle their hips. Why can't men wiggle their hips? I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was an interesting story. 1965, the Gateway Arch, that big giant arch in St. Louis was completed. I'm sure you've seen pictures of it. It's pretty iconic now. Been there, done that. The last time I did that, I was with, what a trip that was. I took a trip across country with my then 5-year-old grandson and 95-year-old Fritzy. So 5-year-old Max, 95-year-old Fritzy. I know. I had to have my head again. I should have my head examined. It was a fabulous trip. And I just thought for a 5-year-old and a 95-year-old, this would be the trip of a lifetime. It would be. Fritzy was just starting to have dementia. And I didn't have quite the patience with her that I have now. And she was more frustrated with forgetting things. And Max was 5. And he was just doing things 5-year-olds do. And I took 2 weeks in a car with a 5-year-old and a 95-year-old. But at one point, we ended up in St. Louis and we were running late, but I had tickets for us to go up into the arch. The arch is gigantic. It's like taller than buildings. And you take like a stairs and an elevator and you go up, and then there's observation happening up at the very top, and then you go back down again. So if you could have seen me, and you can't park anywhere right there. You have to park and then walk to it. I'm trying to rush a 95-year-old and a 5-year-old so we don't miss our assigned time, because it's timed tickets, right? Oh, how I remember that day. Oh, how awful it was. I was so frustrated, and I was probably mean and nasty to both of them. But by the time we got there and we could just all go, whew, and sit down and then go up to the top and see the views from this amazing, what would you call it? A giant erection. I don't know, whatever it was pretty amazing. And then there was this other time when I was on a trip cross country, I believe with my friend Lori, when we were on our Route 66 trip. Yeah, we were 66, and I said, come on, we're only going to be 66 once. Let's do it. So we did Route 66 to celebrate being 66 years old. Wow, we had a good time. Anyway, I think it was a Hampton hotel, I'm not sure, and I so want to give them credit because they were so wonderful to us. And I remember walking in, like, at, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night, we finally got to St. Louis, parked our car, and we had a reservation, and we walked in, and I said, "Could you give us a room up really high so we get a really good view of the city?" And the girls looked at each other, and I don't know what made them decide to be nice to two. Oh, I know what it was. I told them about our journey. I told them we were 66 on Route 66, and we were almost to Chicago, and please could we have a really high up room? But I, like, prepared them for why. Anyway, they gave us the top floor corner room that looked directly at the arch. And we were, like, only maybe 2 blocks away from the arch, so the view of the arch was absolutely amazing. It really was. What a great trip that was, and oh my goodness, that was the first time I can remember having St. Louis barbecue. Dang me, that stuff was great. I mean, it definitely held his own against Texas Q. I'm gonna say it's a different kind of flavor a little, but oh, I liked it. Here's to St. Louis, and I loved your arch. 1972. You are the sunshine of my life. That was Stevie Wonder's number one hit. What was he like in 72? I don't know. He wasn't a baby back then. No, he was already older, but that was his number one hit for quite a while. I don't have a lot of music for you today. I wish Indy was back and we could play music. Maybe they'll change that. In 1726, Jonathan Swift wrote a book called Travels into Several Remote Nations of the World. Did you read it? Travel into Several Remote Nations of the World. Did you see the movie? How about the Disney version? Did you read the book? Actually, you probably did, because that was the original title of Gulliver's Travels. I know, right? I'm glad they changed it to Gulliver's Travels because I kind of like that. True story. Anyway, let's get on to word art. What do you say? Yeah, it's time. I love today's word art. Stephen and John both said, not a problem for me. I'm really happy for you because this is a tough one for a lot of people. And that word art is very simply practice the hard no. Not like it's hard to say. It's not hard to say. No, no, no. What's hard is making it a hard and fast. Absolutely. This is my final answer. No. And meaning it and sticking to it. Yeah. Now, I'm not telling you that sometimes you don't answer too hastily and you need to reassess. But when you say no, mean no. And make sure that the people around you know you mean no. And take no for an answer. Or just say, is that a hard no? Meaning, is there anything I can do to convince you otherwise? And the answer may be no. It is not changeable. This is it. It's a hard no. Some of you out there need to learn to say yes. Yeah, to opportunity, to possibility, to love. Some of you need to open up your hearts and say yes more often. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about no. That kind of no where somebody says, "Can you do this for me?" No. So here's just a little tip before we go. I had a store and we sold balloons, right? I mean, I had a party store, my friends. So you can imagine every single school, church, synagogue, every group on the planet came to me for donations because everybody had parties and celebrations and sales, and everybody wanted my balloon decorations and all the other things that I did that went with it. And I didn't like to say no. So here's what I figured out. I didn't ever have to say no to charities if I didn't want to. But here's what I would do. I would say no in my head, and I would offer them something instead. So I would say to them, "No, I can't do that for you." Or, "No, I won't do that for you, but here's what I can do." So I always took my nose or gave out my nose with a little codicil of what I could do, if there was something I could do. Um, will you forgive me? No, I won't forgive you right now, but I will think about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore right now. That's pretty harsh, huh? But do you follow what I'm saying? Um, will you babysit for my son for 3 days? No, I won't babysit for 3 days, but here's what I will do. I will take him on Thursday and keep him overnight. That kind of thing. So, a no can still have a positive effect on the people you're saying no to. Okay? If that's your issue. Or perhaps there's some of you just have no problem saying no. So I'm leaving now. Will I stay longer? Nope, not a chance. It's time to go. So, happy Thursday. The weekend's coming, mother cluckers. Sip and a smile. I will see you on Freaky Friday. Whoa.